no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raiders mailbag time here. If you guys want to get your questions on the show, you got to use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. We go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, so subscribe and turn on those notifications. All right, the first question coming in from Hank Moore, Tre Boston. Tre Boston is a player that I've talked about actually a few times, and when he was released by the Carolina Panthers, I said, don't be surprised if the Raiders look for a cheaper option at free safety. The best year Tre Boston has ever had is in 2017 when he had 5 interceptions in the Gus Bradley system for the Chargers. Last season wasn't that great in Carolina. However, in 2019, he did rate a 90 grade according to PFF in terms of coverage. Tre Boston knows the system, and maybe it could be a cheaper option. All right, let's go to Bulls fan here. Should the Raiders trade Derek Carr for 2 firsts, trade 1 first for Sam Darnold and Jamison Crowder? If you're going to trade Derek Carr for Sam Darnold, I just have no idea what you're doing. The only way you trade Derek Carr is if you can get an upgrade at quarterback. The only quarterback that's legitimately you have a chance is Deshaun Watson. I saw some people earlier being like, what about Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson is not getting traded, so let's just throw that one out. The only way you're trading Derek Carr is if you can get Deshaun Watson, and that at this point doesn't seem very likely. Let's go to Charlie Griffiths. All right, listen every week from the UK. Appreciate you, my dude. Mitch, thanks for making Tuesday evening and lockdown more bearable. How many players do you think will get franchise tagged this year, and who do you think they will be? Well, I don't really anticipate the Raiders franchise tagging any players, and I'm just going to be honest. I haven't taken a deep dive, but normally you see about 66% of the teams franchise tag a guy. So with those numbers, I'm going to say 22 players get franchise tagged. I know I talked about Nelson Aguilar last week because I saw an article about the Raiders potentially franchise tagging him. That just doesn't make any sense. So don't anticipate the Raiders franchise tagging any players. All right, let's go to Cookie Monster. Yo, Mitch, what do you think was better at drafting pick Jack Del Rio or Jon Gruden? All right, who do I think's better? I mean, it's kind of hard to say that Jon Gruden's been better. I mean, really, the 2019 draft was good, but it was really only good because I'll say Max Crosby, Trayvon Mullen was also a good pick. Obviously, Josh Jacobs was a good pick as well, but Cleveland Ferrell was a bit of a reach. Jonathan Abrams been an absolute swing and a miss. This past year's draft was bad. I mean, I guess I'm going to go with Jack Del Rio, but that's not saying that Jack Del Rio did a very good job either. All right, let's go to Kyrie810. We should sign Isaiah Wilson. He was a first-round pick. Kyrie810, no. I get the idea that he was a first-round pick out of Georgia. He's got talent, but this guy is just a younger version of Trent Brown. Heck, it's probably even worse than a situation than Brown. He played in 4 snaps this year. 3 on the offense, 1 on special teams. A first-round pick, like I get it, talented player. But if you don't have the upstairs working for you and not all the lights are turning on, it's not even worth it. I don't want a head case like Isaiah Wilson, and I definitely don't want a player like this who has proven that he just is not – he's not grown up. Like, I don't understand how all you have to do is play football to make millions of dollars, and you can't do that. That's not a guy I want on my football team. So go down in the comments and let me know, should the Raiders sign Isaiah Wilson? I think you guys know where I stand on this. Type S for sign, type P for pass. I know some people are always like, well, sometimes you got to take a risk on a guy, and some guys need a second chance. No disrespect. I can't figure out how you, at 22 years old, don't accept millions of dollars to play football. I'm typing P for pass. I'd rather invest my money in somewhere else. All right, Ange the Gamer God. Okay, what do we got? How about a first-round pick in Jonathan Abram for Harrison Smith? Unfortunately, I don't really think that they would do that, and I actually think that's too much to give up for Harrison Smith as much as I like him, so no. But if you do trade Jonathan Abram, I believe you're also going to eat, it's like $3 or $7 million. I know it's one of the 2 figures. I just can't remember exactly. All right, if you guys want more Raiders news, rumors, and the live show like you're watching now, hit that big red button that says subscribe. And I tell you guys all the time, hey, make sure you turn on those notifications, but I get it. Maybe my dad's out there like, how the heck do you turn on your notifications? Or, you turn into your parents, you don't know how to open up a JPEG. I got you covered here. So here's how you turn on your notifications on YouTube. You got to go to the settings app. It literally looks like the gear that you see in the corner of your screen. Scroll on down, tap YouTube, tap notifications, and then tap turn on allow notifications. That way you don't miss any of the videos that we drop here at the Raiders Report. All right, the next one's coming in from Tyler M11. Raiders, okay, can't get Nelly back. Who do you think is most likely we get in free agency for wide receiver? It's a good question. I am still a believer that Nelson Aguilar is going to come back to this team. I put out a video about some offseason predictions that I had. I had Nelly in that video. If it's not him, I'm hoping it's Curtis Samuel, who's got 4 years of playing experience, only 24 years old, probably could get him for like $8 million and would be a good all-around slot receiver. And the way that the Chiefs use Tyreek Hill is kind of the way that the Carolina Panthers tried to use Curtis Samuel last year. So I think that would actually be a pretty cool fit for this team. But at the end of the day, man, it's tough to see what you're going to be able to get ultimately. I'll also say this, I do not want Deshaun Jackson. All right, let's go to Christopher McGuire. You're next up here. Mitch, I think now with Witten retired, Foster Moreau will be a breakout season with all the offensive weapons. Foster Moreau will be a player that I think definitely is going to shine a lot more. Breakout, though, is too much of a, like, if I think of a breakout year for Foster Moreau being like, I don't know, 50 catches, 800 yards, and like 8 touchdowns. Like, that's a breakout season, right? Like, by far the best season of his career. Now, as a rookie, he had 5 touchdowns, and he was a lot better in the red zone. I'm thinking now that Witten has retired, you're going to see a lot more of Foster Moreau in the red zone. Like we saw as a rookie, I couldn't quite figure out why that he wasn't getting used a little bit more. Maybe he wasn't 100% healthy, but I am with you that you are going to see a lot more of Foster Moreau. And all these people out there are freaking out that we don't have a number 1 receiver. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of Darren Waller as the number 1 receiver lined up next to Bryan Edwards, Henry Ruggs, and then you use Foster Moreau as more of your conventional tight end. All right, let's go to Troy Gonzalez here. Do you think that Gruden's job is safe to this point, or do you think we should start looking elsewhere? So, Troy, answer this question. If you fire Jon Gruden, you still have to pay him his remaining contract. When he signed his deal, it was 10 years, $100 million guaranteed. Okay? 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. That's 4 years. All right? If he doesn't do his job after this year, you still have to pay him $50 million. Jon Gruden's not going anywhere. All right, so how about this? How hot is Jon Gruden's seat? Shout out to producer Sam for making this on the fly. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being it's just like absolutely ice cold. Like he's got nothing to worry about. 10 being if it starts off bad, like if they lose the first game, this guy's getting fired. I'm going to say it's like a 1 because there's just no way the Raiders move on from Jon Gruden. Some of y'all might not like that. Did I like the deal? No, honestly, I did not. I would never give anybody 10 years, like 10 years guaranteed. There's just no job in the entire world that deserves to have 10 years guaranteed, no matter if you're great or not. Sorry, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to say 1. I don't think his seat's very hot. Speaking of hot, we got some hot deals going on right now. If you guys want this awesome Raiders t-shirt, I know people are always like, Mitch, where do you get your clothes? I mean, half the time, guys, I show you where I get my clothes. So go to chatsports.com/Raiders logo is where you can get this Raiders t-shirt. Now, this is right now is 30% off, okay? Usually it's like $27.99. If you take advantage of the deal right now, you can get it for $19.59. It comes in charcoal and it comes in gray. Now, these are going to go quick just because, I mean, I'm going to be honest, when we put something on the show, it sells quick. So you guys can get it in sizes from small all the way up to, I believe, 5XL. So if you want a new Raiders t-shirt, high quality as well, it's like Nike. So charcoal and gray, chatsports.com/Raiders logo is the link. I'll put it in the comments and in the description. All right, we got Brian Baca. Who do you see replacing Trent Brown? It depends what the Raiders ultimately think of free agency and what they think of the draft. I don't know if they really do it in the draft because if you're going to make sure that Derek Carr is healthy, you want to find a more stable piece at right tackle. It also determines what they have in Denzel Good. Denzel Good did a great job playing guard and tackle. I don't really think they want to put him at right tackle. In terms of the most likely options, I'm going to go with a guy like Kelvin Beachum from Arizona. Ricky Wagner is also a name to keep in mind. But in a perfect world, if money didn't matter, give me Taylor Martin, right tackle from the Carolina Panthers. All right, we got Christopher McGuire coming in here. I think his question already got put up. So, producer Sam, everyone type L in the comments for producer Sam. This next one's coming in from Lance. Oh, Juice Head. What's up, Mitch? Trade for Khalil Mack, and we should have released Peterman. He's trash. I mean, at this point, y'all, the Khalil Mack trade is not going to happen. I think the only way it would happen is if, like, it's literally like Khalil Mack and you throw in Derek Carr and they just, like, figure it out. It's just not going to happen. So, as much as I would love to see Mack back in silver and black, sorry. Not going to happen. All right, guys, continue to use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. I know I just saw a Super Chat come in. Jesse Ziegenbein, I believe that's German. It's Watson or bust for me. Why would you let Carr go for anything less than a top 3 quarterback? I'm with you. I could not agree with you anymore. I am a team fan of Derek Carr. He's a good quarterback. But if you can upgrade, that's where I start to get into the whole Deshaun Watson conversation. And if you are going to extend Derek Carr for like the Spotrac projection, which was $32 million a year, why not just go out and get Watson, who you got to pay $32 million over the next 5 years? Super chat coming in from Sebastian Gonzalez, Zaven Collins, Joke Barmore. Who do you want at 17? So Zaven Collins, who won Defensive Player of the Year from Tulsa, type ZC. If you want Joke, which is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker from Notre Dame, or Christian Barmore, the issue, like, I guess if you're just asking me straight up, I want right now Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think he's a phenomenal linebacker. Then you don't have to bring back Nicholas Moreau, so he's probably the top guy. Then it would be Christian Barmore. Then it'd be Zaven Collins. The real thing is, though, what do the Raiders do in free agency? Because if you go out and get Leonard Williams or another top DT, then I don't really see Barmore being an option at 17. If you totally ignore defensive tackle and you maybe go out and get, I don't know, another linebacker like Milano or something, then you do go get to the defensive tackle in Barmore. It's a good question, though. All right, y'all. So if you want to get your questions on the show, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. We got 871 people watching. The easiest way to get featured on the show is to Super Chat. Also, I understand that people got busy lives. Like, hey, I appreciate when people come across our videos, but I also understand that people work. People don't want to watch my videos every single day. It's all good. But I have been telling everyone, hey, if you want to get your questions on the show, hit me up on IG. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365, and in every single live mailbag, I am featuring a question from Instagram. All right, this one's coming in from Corey_Jaquez. Hopefully I got that right. Do you think Malik Hooker from the Colts is a realistic option at safety? I do think that Malik Hooker is a realistic option at safety. And the reason why I say this is not only did I feature him in a video about top free agent safeties to target, but if the Raiders want to go spend big at defensive tackle, or if they want to go spend big at cornerback, or maybe they want to take a deep dive into the offense, if you want a free safety who you know is talented that you can probably get on a cheaper deal, Malik Hooker is definitely a guy to consider. Like, you can't deny when he is healthy, his talent is elite. However, in 4 seasons, he's missed 28 games. He's coming off a torn Achilles. So if you can bring him in on a 1-year prove-it deal, I think it's worth it. Bring in Malik Hooker, maybe bring in a Rayshon Jenkins and also Tre Boston. You could probably pay 2 players there for like $6 million. That's pretty good to me. So should the Raiders sign Malik Hooker? Y for yes and for no. I am always going to say this, like, if you could give me a Raiders Hooker jersey, I'm there. Like, I'm already committed. I got the jersey. So if you guys are typing your Y for yes, go down in the comments, spam Hooker. I'm actually curious to see if YouTube lets it through or not. So if you guys like these videos that I put out here, I have also put out, as you can see, Malik Hooker's in this thumbnail, my top 10 free agent safeties. Please go check it out. Another reason to subscribe to the Raiders Report. Free videos every single day for the next 365 days. Super chat time from Jack Bishop. Sign Aldon Smith or Justin Houston. I'll tell you what, if you actually watch Aldon Smith, he was good in the first half of the season for the Cowboys and then just wasn't very good. So I'm going to pass on him. I understand the whole Cowboys connection. I'd much rather have Justin Houston. I get that he's a lot older. He was a lot more dominant this past year. So if I had to pick, I'd go Justin Houston. Another super chat coming in from Dale Webb Jr. Should the Raiders sign Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey? No and hell no. I don't want D-Jack. He's kind of washed up at this point. And Alshon Jeffrey is an absolute cancer on the field and in the locker room. Another super chat coming in from Christian Martinez. Mitch, please tell the Raiders front office to focus on the defensive line, safety, and a bit in O-line players, please. So I'll see what I can do. If you want to check out my videos that I've done about some potential players to invest at DT, safety, and players to sign on the offensive side of the football, go check it out. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Dennis Jones, one of our longtime subscribers here. Hey, Mitch, what do you think about A.J. Boye or Josh Norman? Both played decent this past year. See, I'm going to disagree with that. I actually don't think Josh Norman played all that great. You also got to go back to look at Josh Norman in 2019. Like, he was really effing bad. Like, one of the worst cornerbacks in the National Football League, according to the PFF. This past year, I think, got covered up a little bit because the Bills' secondary is halfway decent. And then A.J. Boye, I mean, he was bad this year. I mean, he was getting paid $13 million. It was an easy move for the Broncos to make. there's a lot of other talented cornerbacks that I'd rather go out and get. Now, sure, money isn't a thing, but there's no way Boye and Josh Norman, in my opinion, sign for anything under $4 million. So for that, no. Let's go to Lachlan Plays. Hey, Mitch, I love the show. Do you think we will sign or draft a safety? And do you think we will sign or draft a defensive tackle? Also, are you going to be in Nashville at some point? So in terms of sign or draft a safety, I think that there's actually a better chance that they sign one, a big-name safety, than going out and maybe getting a big-name defensive tackle. But I would say the top guy to target is probably Marcus Williams. I also think they could draft a safety maybe in round 3 or 4. It depends what they do. And then I guess in terms from Nashville, I do plan on being in Nashville June 19th for a bachelor party, but that's still not set in stone. But, hey, if I ever make a trip anywhere, I always let you guys know IG, Twitter, so that way we can link up, grab a beer. Super chat coming in. Oh, man, let me clear my throat from Mr. Emerald. Mitch! Trade Trent Brown to the Patriots for Stephon Gilmore and Julian Edelman. Interesting. So, yes, I would trade Trent Brown in a heartbeat, but the Patriots, they're going to decline this because, one, Stephon Gilmore spelled wrong, and I've never seen a more ridiculous spelling for Julian Edelman.